Hi, my name is Johnny. I want to tell you I appreciate very much the time you're taking to consider my compelling argument, and I really mean that. Don't forget to hit the like button and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And at the end of it, I'm going to give you profound consequences of sharing it. Now, I'm not going to talk to you about the problems our nation or our society faces. For that, there's plenty of resources on the internet. But what I want to talk to you about instead is what a lot of people have been talking about and asking and looking for quite some time, and that is the solution to these problems. I believe you're going to find my argument provocative, strategic, and very powerful. This is day 31 of the revolution, and today's update is titled, Your New Representatives, If You Choose, to the Beloved. I had the opportunity to talk to a few truck drivers out on the road today and asked them, and I briefly told them a little bit about the strategy and what we were trying to do. And I've got some video showing that a couple of them were indeed interested and willing to fight and be your new representative. Now, as I'm talking to these truck drivers, I asked them, I told them the concept was that they would actually be looked at as new political representatives for the people, because those that represent us right now, elected officials, are bought by corporate interest and they do their bidding. And I just reiterated, I asked them at first, you understand you have power? They said, oh yeah, they all, and because they're pretty busy, I don't want to take too much of their time. I just simply asked them if they would be willing to go on a general strike if they saw enough people wearing red and white. So I want to give you this sampling, but I got to be honest with you. I was a bit hesitant to do this, and one of the members, either the person following me asked me, "Why don't you do this? Why don't you ask the truck drivers?" And I could, and I do, but at the end of the day, it's not really the truck driver. He can't do it alone, and he will not. If he does not, see a sea of red. How about that? See. If he doesn't see a whole bunch of people wearing red and white on their vehicles supporting him in his effort to support them, then he won't do it. I think it's pretty much the same way with what we got right now. What are we saying? Not very many people are involved in politics, and because they're not involved in politics and because they're not pressuring their representatives, they pretty much do whatever they can get away with. Now, this wasn't always the case, was it? I mean, at one time, we did, making the phone call to your representative really did make a difference, and people really were involved. But those days have been long gone, and a big reason for that, we all know, is because little by little, they've set up a system to ensure that rules rule the day. Gosh, I'm really on a roll here. That they don't use the Constitution or the rule of law, but they use their own rules to pass legislation or keep from passing legislation, because it does not according to what their donors want, and what their donors want is to stay rich and continue being rich and make it hard for working class people. Now, there's a couple of organizations out there, like Steve Grumbein's organization, Real Progressives, that are just educating everybody in America about how macroeconomics works. And I really, truly, you have to go take a look at their videos and their education material. And they've got plenty of it about just a basic understanding. And with a basic understanding, it's enough to make you understand, we can have a better world. We don't have to, figure out how we're going to pay for things. And then you have the Movement for a People's Party. They're doing a lot of work also, moving forward with trying to organize candidates to get on the ballot. But then you still have that system of the spoiler, and the two-party system. They've rigged it very, very well against the working class people. So we got a lot of work to do. My argument simply is that we can go right to the heart of the matter and pass free and fair elections. Now, some people would ask, well, what does that look like? Well, one example of fair election would be ranked choice voting. Now, if you don't know what that is, I don't have the time to get into it right here. You can YouTube it and look into it and find out about it. There's other things like a 2-day holiday for voting, and opening up precincts, doing away with gerrymandering. I mean, there's all kinds of things, even using the Ethereum, or what you call blockchain, vote from home, all kinds of ways where we can secure the vote. Now, there are a few people that we can point to and that we can trust that would set up a system that's fair and that's verifiable. Lawrence Lessig is the leading person on that. Chris Hedges, again, being from the media, would spearhead the effort, legislation or an amendment, to make sure that these people who own the media stop the manufacture of consent. So, getting back to the truck driver, I don't want you to think that the truck driver is going to do this without the people involved. And I clearly asked them, I said, if you see a lot of red and white, would you have the confidence to go on strike, on a general strike? And they say, yeah. If I saw a lot of red and white, yeah. And it's true, they do. Think about this for a minute. They are your new representatives, and they know this. They know this. They have power. I'll talk to them and tell them, you understand that we're talking about the same kind of power that our elected officials have that pass laws? Because in effect, what we're actually doing is that driver, me, in this seat, in the garbage collector, is actually passing legislation. Think about that. It's true. They are. Might as well. Because of their efforts, we're going to get free and fair elections. We're going to get a vote on Medicare for all, and we're going to get some kind of legislation that has to deal with the manufacturing of consent. So you could really say that you are the representative. You're passing the legislation. Now, that's power. That's power, and you're doing it on behalf of the people. And you're doing it strategically. And you're doing it on the basis that you, representative, police officer, military man, are either going to follow the Constitution, do it yourself, allow us a constitutional convention, or you're going to tear up the Constitution in front of us. And we know you're not going to do that. So you only have two other choices. And if you attempt to do that, well, I'd like to see the police officer and the military man see what they have to say about that. You see, here's the thing. How many of them are there that really do hate our Constitution and want to be rich beyond all measure and despise working class people? It's really not that many. And there's a whole bunch of us that are oath keepers, that believe in the Constitution. And we're going to use the Constitution to get it back from them who have deceitfully taken it from us little by little without us even noticing. See how smart they are? See, this is a result of a think tank. Well, I got some news for the beast. We too think, don't we? Yeah, you should be trembling, because we're coming, and we're coming with power. And we're coming with the greatest weapon ever, not a gun. We're coming with the truth. Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. So, are you a truck driver?
Yes, I am, sir.
Great. So here's a question. If you saw a sea of red and white ribbons on vehicles across the nation supporting you to go on a general strike for those three things: free and fair elections, a vote on Medicare for all, and some sort of legislation or an amendment that'll do away with the lying media, would you have the confidence to go on a general strike and be our new representatives with power to demand those things?
Absolutely. I'm totally against corruption in any way, form. I'm willing to support that cause.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
Hello. Yeah, so here's the question. If you saw enough red and white ribbons on vehicles and on people around the country, would you have the confidence to go on a general strike?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. Here we go. Hi. Here's the question. We're organizing a general strike with the garbage collectors and the truck drivers. And here's the question. If enough people wore red and white on their bodies and on their vehicles as they go about the day, would you feel that you had enough support to go on a general strike on behalf of the people and be their new representative with power?
Sure.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hi. So you're a truck driver, and I want to ask you a question. If you saw a lot of people in the country that had a red and white in their mirror, would you go on a general strike if you saw that?
Yeah.
Supporting the people?
I will support my co-worker, definitely.
You would what?
Yeah, I would.
You would. Well, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Know this, that by sharing this video, you're sharing a double-edged sword. According to your heart, you will either do or not do that simple thing, wear red and white on your bodies and on your vehicles as you go about your day, recognizing that it represents humility and at the same time power. And also, at the same time, either embolden or instill fear and trembling in those who despise you, your republic, your constitution, and our national sovereignty. This is revolution, and there will be a victory. I hope it's us.